Hey, how's it going, friends? So good to see you. Hey, listen, there's a lot coming down the pipeline, and so at the end of this video, take a look in the email below. Check out a couple opportunities that are coming down the pipeline to participate in different things. If you're interested, we've got a prayer meeting coming up this Sunday, and we know that prayer and fasting changes things. That when we submit them to God, God takes care of the rest. And so there's an opportunity coming up this Sunday at 7. There's an opportunity to get involved in helping with Christmas setup around the facility coming up next weekend. And then there's an opportunity to jump in and be a part of our Christmas services. And so those signups are below. And I'm shooting those your way to just check it out, see if it's something you want to be a part of. Also, you may have received a text from Jenna. We'd like to just do something to say thank you to you, give you a little gift, and I want to throw that your way. So kind of be looking for that as well. But I want to talk to you about a verse that is like a favorite verse of mine, and also kind of like a least favorite verse of mine. And I think you'll understand why in just a second. It's found in James 1:19. We talked about this before, but I want to go there for a second because I think it's really important. It's talks about the importance of listening and listening above and beyond talking, right? So the verse says in the New International Version, it says it like this: my dear brothers and sisters, so like me and you, right? Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. Quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. Guess which one of those I'm awesome at, and guess which one of those I'm not great at? Can I just confess? I'm not really awesome at any of those by nature. And I struggle with all of them by nature. Being slow to speak, quick to listen, slow to become angry under certain circumstances can be challenging for me. But yet it's so important that we do those. And when we do, what it does, right, is really adds value and importance to a relationship. When Jesus gave the two greatest commandments, he said, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength. And the second commandment is like the first, love your neighbor as yourself. So when I listen more than I speak, when I'm slow to anger because I'm assuming the best about the other person, I'm really loving them and adding value, expressing value to who they are. I like how one author said it. He said, walk around putting a 10 on everybody's forehead. That like when you're in a conversation with them, no matter what they say, no matter what's going on, no matter how intense it is, put a 10 on their head and realize like they are even better than you think they are when you give them the very best benefit of the doubt. They are probably coming from a place that's actually like really caring and has other people's best interest in mind. And if you could see what they could see from their perspective, you could probably understand why they're coming at you the way they are, or what they're saying is really important and valuable, and maybe wouldn't be offended. So I think that's a very, very valuable lesson for me personally to put into place. So how do we listen best? Man, I bet you have a lot of great ideas on that, and I'd love to hear some of those. And so let's share those at the huddle this coming Sunday, and I'll come with a few of those as well because I have some thoughts on it as well. But come this Sunday with some of your thoughts on how do we listen best? What works best for you? And I think it'll be really cool. I want to tell you a story and then finish out with a verse. There was a story of a tennis pro, and he was teaching a student, how to improve his strokes, how to, volley and return and serve best. But every time that he gave some instructions, the student cut him off and kind of interrupted and said, no. I think it's actually better. The reason I'm doing this is because I think it works better for me if I do this way, and if I, and when I do that, I think that I get a better return, and it just works better. And so he just kept correcting the pro. So finally the pro just started looking at him and smiling and nodding and like, man, big eyed, and just like, yeah, okay, yeah. Well, a lady who was watching the conversation on the side was like, after the moment, came back around to the pro and was like, hey, why did you start nodding in agreement with him? Like, he wasn't right, and you're the pro. And the pro said this. He said, I've learned that it's best not to sell answers to somebody who only wants to buy echoes. Sometimes when we don't listen well, it's because we're so interested in getting in what we want to say that we don't actually want to understand. We don't actually want to work to hear what the other person has to offer. We just want to hear them say what we want to hear them say. We really just want to hear ourselves talk. And I'm guilty of this too many times. Some of you know that. You've interacted with me and you know, man, that's Jeremy. So first of all, sorry, I don't want to be like that. I want to be better than that. And also, I'm working on this, and the Lord's working on this in me. So if that's something you can relate to, just maybe this weekend take some time to say, hey, God, would you just help me with that? Help me to be a better listener. Help me to lean in and to really hear what other people have to say and to assume the best, to see them as a 10, and to believe that if I listen well, I'll probably catch something that's really, really valuable. I'll probably be better for it. The Message Bible says James 1:19 like this. I love it. Listen to this. Post this at all the intersections, dear friends. Lead with your ears, follow up with your tongue, and let anger straggle along in the rear. Isn't that awesome? Lead with your ears. We got two of them, two of these, one of these, maybe something there. Follow up with your tongue and let anger straggle along in the rear. Hey, look forward to seeing you this coming Sunday. Thank you so much for leaning in and looking always to build relationships, both in your world outside of the Connections Ministry here at church, because you're a connector. God's built you that way, and also here at church. And when we do, man, what we do is we take away the opportunity for the enemy to drive a wedge between us and others in relationship, and we open up the opportunity for the Holy Spirit to speak into our lives and to help guide us into greater relationship with others, and ultimately for the purpose of leading them one step closer to Jesus, so that together we can saturate Greater Austin with the love of Jesus. Man, isn't that awesome? I know I mixed the vision and the mission statement together right there, but it's okay. That each of us together can saturate Greater Austin with the love of Jesus. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you on Sunday.